I volunteered for it because I just thought, I've always had this mindset, and I've always had this real hunger for doing things that no one else has done or people don't normally do. I like to be the guy who does something that not a lot of people are doing. I like to challenge myself. It's just all about a personal challenge, and maybe I could do that. Why not me? What if I could be the one to do that? So that's always been a mindset of mine. So when it came to going forward for the SAS, I didn't tell anybody at first. I just did it. I applied, and I wanted to keep it to myself. And I just applied for the joining instructions for the selection course. And I remember I was actually out in Kosovo at the time in 1999, and we were in a place called Podievo, and I never get any mail. No one sent me mail, so I got this letter through the door one day, and it was a brown envelope, and I always remember the day I opened this envelope, and it was my joining instructions for my pre-selection course, and I always remember that feeling that I took the paper from the envelope, and there was two winged daggers on the top of the paper, the headed paper, and I was just like, just the feeling I got from that was kind of like this is now real. It's like this is a letter to me with this insignia on it, and it felt really special at the time because I was the first one to go for it in a long time, and the first one to ever pass since like the 1970s.
From okay, hold on. I got to ask about this. When you say the first one to pass since the 1970s, do you mean from the unit you were currently in?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
gotcha, gotcha.
yeah. Not obviously there'd be no regiment, but
Yeah.
a bunch of old guys from the 60s. But um, yeah, so the last guy who had joined the SAS before me was actually my first ever commanding officer when I joined the infantry. When I joined, so the unit I joined was called the Royal Highland Fusiliers. It was a Scottish infantry battalion, and no one was in the SAS from there. And one guy had been, and that was the commanding officer. The guy who was in charge of the whole unit, and he had joined in the 70s. Um, and no one else had managed to get in since then. So you can imagine it's a bit like, sometimes others have got to succeed before other people will believe it's possible. Otherwise, if the opposite happens and people go forward and people fail, it kind of demoralizes future generations and just makes people think that what's the point in even trying because he didn't get in and he's better than me in my mind. So why would they take me? So it was a big step, but then I suppose it was such a big step that there wasn't really any pressure. You could see it in two ways. It was a double-sided coin. In one hand, there's lots of pressure because it's a big step, and you're leaving yourself open to criticism if you don't get in. The told you so. People will be the first to say, "Yeah, well, I knew you were too young, or you were above your station, or you were out of your depth." And then in the flip side of that, there was no pressure at all because I thought, well, no one else is doing it. I don't really have anyone to compare against. It's not like I'm not doing what other people have done. I would be the first. So if I don't get in, then I'm just another one of the people that didn't get in. But if I do get in, then that's quite going to be pretty special. So that's what kept me motivated.
I love that. I love